Good morning, folks. First Sunday of Advent is around the corner, and beginning of a brand new church year. And as you know, Advent is a time of preparation for the coming of Christ at Christmas. And for that reason, you'd imagine that the readings on this day would be about getting ready for Christmas, about the coming of Christ at Christmas. But in actual fact, they're not doing that, and especially the gospel reading comes as a sort of a surprise, because it's not talking about the first coming of Christ. Rather, it's talking about the second coming of Christ at the end of time, and it says that you got to be ready for it, and it talks about how along the way the people, like, for example, the time of the flood, way back here in the early chapters of Genesis, when the flood came, people had been warned that flood was coming, but up until the moment that Noah entered the ark, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, and consequently, a lot of them, obviously, most of them, lost their lives in the process. So the message really for this gospel reading is to be ready. And so why would you have that kind of a gospel reading on the first Sunday of Advent? Well, because of the fact that, as Stephen Covey says in his book, The Habits of Highly Successful People, habit number 2 says, begin with the end in mind. When you're starting a project, it's important to look not just to the beginning and how you're doing in the beginning. It's important to look at the end of it to say, what's going to ensure that I have a good ending, that all will go well until the very end. So it's good planning to in a sense, look ahead and so look at the beginning with the end in mind, and that's really what this reading is doing, and it's good advice for all of us. It says stay awake. It says be sure of this: if the master of the house knew when the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and not let his house be broken into. So you too must also be prepared, for an hour you do not expect the Son of Man will come. And the second reading is talking about the same kind of stuff. It's for a reading from Romans this time. It says the time of salvation is nearer than when you first believed. The night is far advanced, the day is at hand. So throw off the works of darkness and put on the armor of light. Conduct yourselves properly during this time. So it's great advice, really, and it's a reminder that we should always, as we live the present, we must always sort of. The point is that the Christian should have one eye looking at the present and the other eye looking at the future. So you're always living as if today is your last day. So I think if you start the Advent season with that perspective, with that outlook, I think it'll ensure that the season of Advent and of Christmas will not be a time of craziness, but I think that you will live it soberly and justly, and truly be able to celebrate the coming of the Lord at Christmas. Thank you.